I can tell you that, so my background isn't necessarily in brewing. Mine's sort of like kind of applied sustainability and economics and business. When I started here, I was doing campaign work for the 2016 election, and that was centered around like climate activism. And I was working here temporarily, in my mind at least, as a bartender. And I got to talking with the owners, found out that they had an interest in sustainability and wanted to apply it here. In terms of working with environmental organizations, obviously we have a pretty robust sustainability program, which is very cool because we're a relatively small company. We have a pretty strong partnership, in particular with the Ohio Environmental Council. We've kind of been a sponsor of theirs in the past. We've hosted events here for them before. I've personally gone with one of their lobbyists to DC and talked with House reps about like the importance of the Clean Water Rule. It was something they were looking to repeal at the beginning of 2018. It was kind of a crazy experience altogether. Here is a very, very interesting thing to make. The chief kind of 3-4 ingredients. Hops are a really, really big one. Malts, yeast, kind of what causes them to ferment, and then obviously water is the biggest one. You're going to start by taking your grain, your malted grain. You're going to mill it. You're going to put it in what's called the mash tun. So basically, you put that in with hot water, and you're kind of separating the sugars from that grain and put it in the water. And then you transfer that sugar water over to a kettle where you boil it, and that's where you first start adding your hop additions, and that's where kind of some of those additional flavors start coming in, some of the bittering things start coming in. With that first process, the mash tun in the kettle is the actual brewing process. Once you get through a brew, you're going to transfer that water, that sugar water, into a fermenter, a big conical tank. So once you put this kind of sugary hoppy water into a fermenter, depending on the recipe, you'll start to throw yeast in there and maybe some secondary hop additions. Beer, depending on the style, can take anywhere from like 2 to 8 weeks to ferment. At Land Grant, there's a genuine sense of not only trying to make really good quality beer, but also trying to make sure that we kind of utilize our success responsibly, and we give back to the neighborhood, and we make sure we're mindful and trying to be proactive about our environmental impact. But also at the end of the day, like, we like to throw a good party. We like to have a lot of people here. Hey.